during this process with all this information that's coming at you, and you have all these different facilities, staff, departments, so many moving pieces, to execute some of this stuff in a normal setting, you would think takes some time, but it seems as if everything has happened so quickly. For you to be ahead of this stuff requires a certain level of quickness, and how has that come into play? And has that been part of your conversations, especially when dealing with like a crisis like of this magnitude?
I think partially comes down to role and function within the organization. We have a risk management, compliance, performance improvement team that are monitoring what's going on from a policy standpoint, a practice standpoint. We have our operations folks that communicate constantly. And then we have our supply chain folks that are really tied in. They work closely together. They're all very seasoned, experienced people. There's been very few things that I can think of that we said, wish we would have done that different. I feel lucky about that. But it really comes down to asking the question on a daily basis. Are we missing anything? Do we have access to the most up-to-date communication from our health department, from the state, from the Commonwealth, from the city, keeping our finger on the pulse there. And then we communicate with our sister, well, not necessarily sister facilities, but our peers facilities that are out there. What are they doing? We're paying attention to what other healthcare facilities are doing to make sure we don't miss anything. And then it comes down to just our execution. One of the great things about the team I have is they have relationships in the market. And so getting PPP from other vendors that we maybe didn't have relationships with now, but we had historical relationships with, has been critical. And that's sped up a lot of the important levers that we needed to pull to get the equipment and what we needed to get for our staff to keep them safe.
It sounds like that experience is a direct correlation with the ability for you to be able to move quickly, where maybe some other organizations don't have that luxury, if you will.
Yeah, I would say it's a combination of the experience and the close communication with the team. And knowing each other.
If it's okay, Rod, I have one more follow-up question to that. So, obviously within our walls, culture is everything. It's something that Taylor, Rod, and I pride ourselves on, being culture junkies first, business people second. And part of that conversation when you're talking about culture is having a set of belief systems where everybody kind of functions around that belief system. I hear you say, it comes down to the communication of us always asking the question, did we miss anything? That to me screams, that's the culture of the organization, right? So especially with multiple facilities in different geographical locations where you're not meeting with maybe a corporate executive team every day, what is, maybe if I'm listening to this podcast and somebody has multiple locations and moving pieces like that, what are some things that you guys do or you have done in the past to maintain a specific type of culture and mindset where everybody's thinking that way?
So, I think that there's things that we want to hardwire. And what I want to hardwire is that the center of our strategic plan is quality care. And so in our business, our manufacturer is a clinician. It's a nurse, it's a psychologist, it's a social worker, it's a counselor aide. And so to create that shared vision where we're all rowing in the same boat, nobody can argue with our primary goal is to take care of patients and do it better than anybody else. And so that's primary. And then from there, it's trying to build a culture that values the people, and so we have a culture of accountability, a culture of recognition. And what that means is we celebrate the people that take care of the patients the best and take care of their coworkers the best. And we find a way through a merit-based system to say, you're going to get paid more. You are going to get an opportunity to grow. As we grow as a company, you're going to grow with us. And so it's creating that buy-in that I think is real and genuine. And you know what it's like to be part of a team. Taylor, I think you do. And so when you're part of a team that's winning, man, there's nothing better. And so then the other things kind of just fall into place. You know, people want to jump at the next thing that needs to be taken care of. You know, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were asking me, how is it that we never talk about schedules here? And you know, I'm in a corporate office, so in a facility, it's a little different because, you know, you have to have everything scheduled out, and the nurses need to know what hours they're working. But here, I don't worry about what people are working from. Are they working hard enough, and I worry about, are they working too hard?
Right.
You know, and so when you have that, all of the things that you're talking about, Brett, fall into place because you're hardwiring quality, you're hardwiring it's about people, you're hardwiring teams, and you start to get people that just know their role within each facility, and they thrive at being part of that team and doing that job.